conversational. The neat thing is Nick and I, two parts, have worked together for a long time, but we chat a lot too. And so I've got as much of a pulse as I can have. And Nick didn't, I mean, he shot a text last night. It was real brief on something, but it was, hey, you're going to be in the meeting. So this is not the setup or anything like that. And here's what I'd share with you, Nick, and I'd share with all of you guys. And the first thing I want to do is I want to congratulate you guys all on what you're doing. I get paid to tell the truth, not to just, hey, this is great. Let me go to my, hey, this is great. I mean, Nick knows who I talk to. I had Todd Abrams before you, Nick. I mean, you know the caliber of people I'm talking to, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just elite performers. And so you don't just, hey, everything's great. That's not what people expect. So I want to congratulate you guys on that. But here's the beautiful part, though, is we can always get better. You're very similar. And I'll share with you guys the gaps, but what I see that's happening. I want to tell you, embrace standards. Because here is the common theme that I am seeing is a massive separation. Adam Contos, another friend of Nick's, and he's got 130,000 agents over him, over all of RE/MAX worldwide. And I sent him a text, you guys, last week. And all I said was one word. I said, separation. Tell me what that means to you. He says, exactly what's happening in the industry. And this isn't, I don't lead by fear, and neither does Nick. We lead from truth. The middle ground is going away in the real estate business, period. It's going to haves and have-nots. I mean, period. And you see it with the amazing numbers that you guys are seeing in your organization. So here's the thing, though, is you don't just, okay, there's been this mass separation. It's this speedboat. While Nick is very methodical and thoughtful in what he does, he's quick to action, the responsible action, and obviously you guys are too. And you've just got to stay out in front. What I want you guys to remember, and what Nick knows, and probably all of you guys know, is you're not competing against other real estate agents. You're competing against Amazon. You've heard me say it before. I want it now, and if I don't like it the way it was, I can get it taken care of now. And actually, I want it while I'm cooking, or I want my meals delivered. I want my grocery. I want it now, period. And even to the extent where, and I don't want to compromise anything where you guys, but what I'm seeing other places, information isn't value anymore to people. It used to be, we want information. I want your service now. I want your service now. I want it sophisticated, and I want what I want now. Everyone's got information, you guys. So then what do we need to think about, and where we continue to drill down into? Another longtime pal of Nick's, Frank Leo, great operator up in Toronto. I was with him and his team today. And you know what we were drilled down into? Into the sophistications within the systems and the vehicles that we're using. So there's two things. Standards are just a must. Standards of how we show up every day in every way of our life, period. Because if you have, like right now, again, you guys are doing great, but I know what's underneath it. You know, the wheels aren't wobbling somewhere else. I come into organization where I see the wheels wobbling. You guys are demanding, you've got to have excellence in all areas of your life. I'm not saying being perfect. Everyone has their different level of excellence, but that's the one thing I want you to look at your personal standards. I want you to look at your professional standards and just get better. Don't be me. Don't be Jon Cheplak. Don't be Matt. Don't be Kevin. Be you, but be your best every day, right? See, like the question I'd ask each and every one of you today, did you operate yesterday? And I don't need to know, because it doesn't matter to me. It matters to you. It's for you. Did I operate at my highest level of excellence, personally and professionally, yesterday? And don't be a judge, be a witness. That's the only question you got to ask yourself when you wake up. It's an inventory question. Did I? And so it's your standards right now that will dramatically, you guys have heard the cliches in economic downturns, the amount of wealth, the exchange hand, you know, all those cliches, it's real, but you want to know why it's real? It's the folks that go, okay, urgency, write it down, you guys, Remember that one, urgency. Do I have urgency in all my affairs every single day? Okay. Do I have urgency? I want you guys to remember these ones too. As you're looking at yourself, see, Nick can only lead you. That the leadership team and the staff can only do so much. I look to leadership. Yeah, you should look to leadership, but there's a more important leader that you need to look at every single day. And I just want you guys to pretend. And I'd go buy one. I always look at the tiny hinges that swing big doors. Okay. What's a tiny hinge for me? And each one of you may just grab one thing that in 6 months, Jon said that, not that I'm magical, but Jon said that one thing and I held on to it and that drove me. For example, go and buy, I don't know, you ever seen those little mirrors that are in a little rubber case? Just keep it with you, because that's self-leadership. Doesn't matter what Nick provides, what he invests in, doesn't matter how great of a leader is if we can't lead ourselves. So hold that one close. Ask yourself every day, if things aren't turning out the way that I want personally, things aren't turning out the way that I want professionally, A, am I under the right leadership? Heck yeah, you are with Nick. Okay. B, am I around the right people? C, am I taking responsibility for every one of my experiences and outcomes? You can't change anything you don't own. Period. Like I go to, and I think many of you guys have heard me say this, I go to the extreme extent where I ask the question of folks, and you guys know the answer. If you're sitting at the stop sign and I rear end you, the law is going to say that it's my fault. Okay. If you're a personally responsible, like obsessive, personally responsible human being, you're going to say, no, it's my fault because I was sitting there. See, I can't change anything I don't own. So those are just things to come back to. I want you to go back to all these too, because here's the thing. What's really important, and here's what I would challenge you. Anyone that is in really good momentum right now, you need to ask Nick to just drop the hammer on you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because your confidence is higher than it's ever been. The mistake that I don't want to see you guys make is get comfortable. Amnesia and complacency are the killers of dreams. Amnesia and complacency. So watch this. I'm going to ask each and every one of you, no matter where you're at, but if things are going well for you right now in your business, I want you to pause. You know what I think about? I want you to think about the time you went to Nick, or you were thinking it, and you just go, Nick, man, things are slow. I want you to go into that feeling. And I want you to wake up with that feeling every day. That's the one, because that creates urgency. It creates urgency. And listen, I don't play the fear tactic game. I play a truth game. Listen, I hope things just keep going for you, but stay real. You know what I would do right now? And again, it's not fear. It's being informed. I would wake up saying there's 40 million people still unemployed. There's still forbearance, right? Who knows what could happen with coronavirus? I don't know that. I can't control that. But you want to know what I can control? The space I'm in right now. So I just really want to encourage you. If you're doing great, there's nothing Nick wants more. And again, he didn't put me up to it. Nick, drop the hammer on me. Where are my blind spots? Where are my holes? Where is there more? Because here's the great news. If the forbearance stuff becomes a non-issue, because watch this. Let's see, there's forbearance, there's stimulus, there's 40 million people unemployed. And guess what? If it all is fine because the government takes care of us, well, and you drop the hammer, guess where you're sitting in 90, 120 days? Ridiculous. Does that make sense, you guys? See, that's urgency. That's urgency and being informed. That's not fear. It's being responsible, right? Being responsible. And that's what you guys have done through this process. So here's what I want you to think about, though, too, as you're going through these times. There's two things. People think intention alone makes them productive, and that's false. You can have the intention and you can be driven. That's what I want you to think about right now, is like your guys' intentions are like a laser beam right now. I know they are. But what will knock you off, and this brings you back to what I was sharing further, which will take you out of momentum, okay, is introspection. See, that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to go introspective. I'm asking you to go back into a time and space where, you know what, Nick, I'm in a slump. Nick, the market's slow. Nick, what's going to happen here? See, that's introspection. If you, like right now, you're in that intention, but if you combine it with the introspection, you're going to thrive. That's the difference between, as I've watched and I get to work with myself, you know, knocking doors in Tacoma, Washington in rain gear, right? Looking at my own experience, working with high performers. So keep those two together. Okay, my intention's good, but I'm staying introspective. The other part too that I want you to look at also is you're looking at your business, and these are the things to keep in. I don't know if balance is the word. I'd call it rhythm. You got to keep these two in rhythm. Confidence and competence. Confidence and competence. Again, watch this. This is that space again. Nick can give you all the competence on the planet. He's got a proven system and process that you guys are nailing. And if you're not right now, you know, or if your business isn't where you want right now, that's where that good old, remember, that self-leadership, personal responsibility goes, Nick, where am I at? Where are my holes at? Okay. You've got the competence. Competence alone won't carry you through either. Okay. You got to have confidence. So write these two down together. Competence is our skills and education. Skills and education aren't enough. Well, I'm doing great right now. Well, awesome. Do you want to stay great or do you want to go to elite? Because if you want to go to elite, if you want to, you know, and elite to me is, here's elite. It's not how many homes you sell. It's the things that you're going to be able to create for your family and your community. The homes will sell. Okay. When I look at that, it's not just a number to be a bajillion-dollar producer. Okay. So what skills, okay, do I either need to hone in on, get more consistent with? Okay. You've probably got them. You know, it's more of a consistency thing with competence, skills, and education, but you're staying on the cutting edge. But that's all for naught if you don't have the confidence. Well, no, John, I'm pretty confident. Well, this is where I'll go back to the beginning where I shared with you is demanding excellence in all areas of our lives, because confidence is a result of the emotional state that we're in. And here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people, and with all due respect, this is no judgment. I'm just giving you the feedback. I'm seeing excellent performers paralyzed. They have all the skills on the planet. They have the great marketers and great leaders like Nick, all of his peers, and their business is in the tank. And it's not, and it's an emotional thing. And so when our emotions are off, our confidence is history. It doesn't matter the skills we have. So I want you to keep those things close. Just some principle things. I'm going to go into what I did do. Nick, can you make me a host or co-host so I can share my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good.
And maybe something popped in my head too. I see people on the team that start producing at a high level. Yeah. And then they maybe they've done it before, but maybe this is new to them to operate at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pendings or show properties for 14 days straight to 14 new buyers. Yeah. Right? And this is what I see happen is that's all good and grand, but it's uncomfortable. It becomes overwhelmed. And we're like, wait a second, I need to slow down because stress, anxiety, overwhelm, like there's this feeling that they're going to break down if they keep going at that pace because they're not used to that pace. And then I'm looking at it going, you know, I think you can continue that, but where do you go with that? How do you find that energy? How do you level up and go to the elite? Does that make sense? Instead of going, I need to back down because I'm not used to this.
And I'm going to tell you guys with some transparency to it too, from your leader. Nick doesn't look at how he can do more. He looked at what can I eliminate? In the almost 3 years I've been working with Nick. And each one of you have different things you can eliminate. It is, now listen, do you need personal time and vacation and those type of things? Absolutely. But I'm going to tell you that the trap is when we're at the peak and we stop. Listen, it'll stop for you when it needs to. You know, I mean, here's where you can stop. Here's what I would say to you. Ready, you guys? And this may be brutal, but I want you to, everywhere you're saying, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, you're overwhelmed in your work. Well, part of that is, and I want you guys to do this for me. Do 24 times 7, do this equation, okay? It's 168. Anyone know what that equation is?
Hours in a week.
That's your time study. That's your homework. I want you to do a time study, and I want you to fill in hours of sleep, hours of health and wellness, hours goofing off, hours with family, how much time I eat, everything. And what I want you to do is I want you to go in there and I want you to look at, where am I saying yes in here that's causing me to say, or giving me the pressure to have to say no to something that's going to impact my life and my business. I'm not against TV. I'm just going to tell you what I did. I got tired. It's like Nick too, just some little things that we just plucked off. We just plucked off one little thing. You know what? I would come in, I'd go to the gym every time during the day, and at 5 p.m. Sports Center would turn on. It was like I looked at my couch. It had it was shrunk down in this corner, and the rest was flat. And that's where I'd go and watch Sports Center. I freaking went up and I grabbed my TV. It was a 50-inch, and I put it in the garage, never to be watched again. Those are the choices. Because let me tell you something about what TV does. And you didn't think you're going to get the TV speech. Is TV feeding you nutrition? I'll leave that for you. Is TV helping me get that cottage that I want, the mountain cottage? Is it paying off that student loan? Is it having a car with no payment? Is it paying off my medical bill? Is that TV paying that off for me? That's how brutal you got to get if you want to look at and say, wow, I've got more space. Because you want to know what it is? I've got the same hours as you, and so does Nick, and each one of you do. Watch this. It's energy management. So write these 3 things down: people, places, and things. So when you do that time study, okay, I want you to look at the people, the places you're going, the things that you're doing, where you're saying yes, which means I have to say no over here. And the reason you have to say no is because those yeses, being around the wrong people, take energy from me. I'm very introvert to myself. I came up to Utah. I'm in a VRBO, been here a month. Friends are like, where are you at? Who's there? Well, my mom drove in, my brother drove in, visit, but I said, leave me alone. I'm busy. I love them. I'm not a robot, you guys, but get it? They know my boundaries, okay? They know, you're extreme. 100%. You don't have to be extreme, but that's, you guys, that's where the answers are. Does that make sense? Is that helpful, you guys?
Yeah.
Is anyone here, raise your hand if you're saying yes somewhere to something that's causing you to say no to maybe going to the gym, or awesome. Good. We all do. There you go, you guys. See, less is more. Less is more.
So it's eliminating things. You know what it reminded me of? I remember one of our coaching calls. I worked out for 10 hours. I cycled for 10 hours in a week. It was a new record for me, and I was tired. And I go, John, you wouldn't believe it. I rode my bike for 10 hours last week. You go, that's only 6%. What do you mean 6%? Well, that was 6% of your week. Congratulations. And the thought was, where did I find all that time? Before I talked to you, I was like, where did I find all that time to ride my bike for 10 hours? And it was only 6% of my week. And you're right. This Friday will be 3 years sober, no alcohol.
That was the other one.
And the number one thing that's done for me, and hey, I have nothing against anyone drinking. I did it for many, many years. But the number one thing it did for me, and that's not the reason I did it, time. It saved me so much time. And I'm not saying, I'm just looking at things in my life that I've eliminated that gave me time back. And then you get to choose what to do with your time. Be productive, be a good husband, be a good father, give back to the community. So that's just something I want to add to that. That is just huge time savings. All right, John.
Isn't that
Your
fun? I
host, by
remember
the
that.
way. Your host, by the way.
Okay, good. It's interesting. People tell me, you know, and I good. 6% of the time of my life. What do you mean? Let's do the math. Like, whoa. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys through the one question that Nick asked in the beginning is, what are we seeing? Where are the gaps? It's standards right now. And it is self-standards. Leaders holding that standard, and Nick's peers are doing what you're doing. It's takeover. I mean, like big time, taking market share. And when I say takeover, that's not in being inhumane, and you're supporting people's needs, period. So that's one. I'm going to take you guys right into the other game changer that is happening. And, you know, it's going to, let me see. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Good. So, and it's really interesting. This dovetailed right in perfectly. It wasn't science. You know, I'm the coach. I'm supposed to tell Nick to do more. No, what we play is what can we get rid of so we can do more? And so the question that I say is, and you're going to see it, how come you keep talking about the same thing over and over? And I'm going to tell you, and this isn't from a fear or not, but I'm going to share some other statistical data with you guys. First of all, I don't see everyone's face because I've moved over and sharing my screen. Has the usage of FaceTime gone up in the last 60 days, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. How about Zoom? Zoom stock has gone up ridiculous. Okay. So just a quick question. When behavior changes, see, Zoom was there and then people started using it more, from 300 million in March a day to 400 million meetings a day. FaceTime was always there, but now people are using it. So what does it do? It changes behavior. What does changed behavior? So I went to Nordstrom's, or I went to wherever, sporting goods stores, or an office supply store, all these places. Then Amazon came. I'm going there first. Yeah, I could get it at Nordstrom online, or I could get it, you know, and again, the caliber of stuff on Amazon may be different than Nordstrom, but you get where I'm going here. Then my groceries. Then I said, well, I'm at Safeway. Well, Whole Foods, my preference. Oh, you'll deliver it to my home. Huh. Actually, I'm getting groceries for free now. Stay with me. I'm getting groceries for free. My grocery bill is zero because the value of my time it takes to drive to the grocery store, go grocery shopping, and then drive home. It's time, money. Here's the point that I want you guys to get, okay? Is my expectations have changed. Is everyone tracking with me? My expectations have changed. I don't want to go to the grocery store. That's painful, and it costs me a lot of money. I mean, you know, again, not going into what I make or don't make. Go to my website, you can see what I make. It costs me a lot of money to go to the grocery store. That's how I think. That's how you got to think. It costs me about $1,800 to go to the grocery store. I'm not going. That's ridiculous. When someone could put it at my doorstep. Well, I'm not the only person that thinks that way in the little things, right? So here's my question to you. Do you think that the expectation of the use of video in dealings has gone through the roof with the consumer in the last 60 days? Yes or no?
Yes.
You bet. I'm going to say this with love. You're fortunate because you're committed. Listen, you're responsible for your result. It's a mutual accountability. Nick provides an environment and you guys act on it 100%. But there is some level of insulation, but Nick can only insulate you so much from the outside forces, because there's a point where you got to take the action and you've got to evolve with the expectation of the consumer. Think he's on video because he likes it? Nah. He's on video every day practically because he goes to bed at night worrying about your opportunities. He's on social media all the time. Do you think Nick's if we were to ask Nick, he probably wishes he didn't have to have a Facebook account. And you guys know Nick well enough that you're probably going, yep, it's the last thing. He knows where the opportunities are. And so, yeah, I'm going to come to you and tell you right now, here's what I'll say to you. He can only insulate you so much. You can only do so much. This separation that I talked about, the person that's not doing video is going to be in trouble. Big trouble. And that's just my responsibility, not to scare you, but to serve you. I'm going to take you inside my world a little bit, real quickly, and but stay with me, because one of the things is, Nick is someone you love and respect in his competency. Nick studies more outside the real estate industry than inside the real estate industry. I promise you that. I promise you that. Because he understands whether it's Red Bull that spends $1 billion and people think that they're an energy drink company. No, they're not. Red Bull is a multimedia company that happens to sell an energy drink. What's that have to do with houses? Everything. Human behavior. Human behavior. See, watch this. What do we want to do with people in video? Educate, inform, entertain. They nailed the entertainment thing, and now people buy an energy drink. Okay? That's that sophistication. Okay? So here's what you need to hold really close. And I'm typically not a quotes guy, but I'll tell you what, man. It's the one that's willing to adapt. Period. Period. And what's happening is you'll look at companies around you, they're going to turn like a battleship. It's going to be too late. Where Nick turns like a speedboat. Is everyone with me on that? You can't turn like a battleship. You've got to turn like a speedboat. Okay? So here's some interesting data I want to share with you. Use of Zoom, WebEx, Hangouts, Teams, and other apps in this space have increased up to 50 times video. Employees are spending up to and sometimes over 25% of their week in meetings, including video. Nearly 10% of employees are spending 50%. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the United States of America. Humans. Pre-COVID numbers in 2019, 90% of survey business leaders say video makes it easier to get a message across, and 89% say it saves time. Okay? I'm going to take you inside my world. I was talking to you about Nick, okay? I want you to grab some principles, because here's your other problem you have too, is you don't want to be, I'm not saying you have the problem, but it's one that comes up. Tell me if this one sounds familiar. Well, I don't want to bother them. I don't want to, I don't want to send too much communication. So I do the same thing you do. You recruit buyers and sellers. I recruit elite leaders like Nick to work with me. We're doing the same thing. So we're all congruent with that. We're all in the enrollment recruiting business, okay? So I'm going to go quick on this because I chatted too much on this stuff. So Facebook video and an image. I want to enroll people to an event. You want to enroll people to an event. The event to work with you. You want to educate and inform. This is based on educating and informing. What I don't want you to get into is so much the marketing piece. I want you to capture, write this down, frequency. Frequency. So again, what am I doing? I'm running people to an event. You know what? The minute they register, they get a video, period. They just saw a video and I brought them in. They're getting another one, 100%. I want to build authority before they even come to meet with me. Are you guys seeing the parallel? So I'm going to tell you one right now, man, that lead, first thing, video text. I mean, I don't want to compromise any systems you guys have in place, but I'll tell you what's happening right now. Here's what's happening. Right now with leads in the largest operations I'm working with across the country, if you don't send a video text, I'm not saying this is your rule. I'm just, because Nick and I haven't talked about this. If a video text doesn't go out to the consumer within 5 minutes video text, it goes to agent number 2. That's how serious it is. And guess what? not only do they get that, I'm also sending them an email. When I'm demonstrating to you here, wait a minute, they just got a confirmation video, John, that you sent them after registering, after seeing the video to register, and then you send them an email on top of it? Yes, we do. You guys, frequency. Don't back off your frequency, okay? And then guess what? Another video the night before. This is for one event, okay? And they go to a page, and then guess what? Another video the morning of. You guys, that's 2 videos in 12 hours. 12 hours. Spam? No, spam is only when you're not delivering to people what they want, okay? And a video page. Ready for this, you guys? So open rates, 62%. I don't know if any of you ever studied email open rates. It's ridiculous. Unheard of. Again, 62%. Unheard of. And in most people's book, I'd be spamming them. You guys, video, people love video. And frequency, as long as you're using the right vehicles. Because if you don't, your competition will. Oh, wait a minute. Then I did the webinar and another one. You guys, they got 3 emails and 3 videos from me in addition to the webinar I did in 18 hours. 3 emails, 3 videos in 18 hours. What I'm demonstrating, and that's why I said to you, Nick studies marketers and technology outside our industry, because those principles are universal. You guys, hope you're capturing the critical piece to video and the critical piece to frequency, okay? And guess what? But John, you're spamming them, really? 76% open rate. Is anyone kind of catching on here with me? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You weren't done? Yeah, I sent them another one. Another one.
After the webinar.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And no. Everyone, this is that.
You guys note too. This is, you guys ready? This is after the webinar, 2 hours after. This is the 3rd video emailed to them in 18 hours. And guess what? They must like me. 70. See, I built authority. Notice look at, I mean, by now you'd think they'd be sick of me. No, video built authority. My email open rates went up even after they watched an hour webinar. How important would it be for you to send a video text post showing, post listing presentation? Oh, but wait, I wasn't done. That's thank you for attending. Then I sent another one the next day, recap. And obviously, okay, sure, it dropped a little bit. Oh no, this is from 58%, bigger audience. Sent to 747. So you guys catching the drift? And here's what I'm going to leave you with, because I kind of went a little bit over. I'm into my time. I got 1 minute here. You guys, the person that's using video and you're not is going to smoke you. They can say the wrong thing, but if they use the right vehicle, they've got a 55% edge on communication, body language. Remember, the Nielsen Rating Company checked out video and said the impact on purchase intent goes up 44% in the first 3 seconds consumed. And there's the proof on video and email. Here's what I want you to remember. 500% greater staying power in the brain, parasocial behavior. It builds you as an authority because the brain can't discern the difference between a moving head on a TV, laptop, desktop, cell phone, iPad. It's all seen as TV. Here's the thing. When you need to use it, you need to use it to educate and inform on social media. Just copy what Nick's doing, you guys. He's educating and informing. When a lead comes in, pre-appointment, post-appointment, market updates, post-closing, social, social, social. That's the down and dirty. I got to fly. I'm a minute late on my next call. Nick and everyone, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Hey, hold
You
on. Let me
guys,
make myself
Thanks,
the
Jon.
host.
remember this. Ready? The
Yep.
training didn't just take place. Training takes place when this Zoom ends and who decides to take action and who doesn't. Go take some action.